So I'd like to show you the Carousel 12 Plus reaction station for parallel synthesis. It's designed to heat or cool, stir and reflux under an inert atmosphere up to 12 reactions simultaneously using a single hot plate. The Carousel 12 was developed in collaboration with GSK as a tool to help increase productivity and save fume covered space. So the Carousel sits on a standard 135mm hot plate, and the hot plate provides magnetic stirring as well as heating if needed. All of the reactions can be easily put under an inert atmosphere, and refluxing is possible through the reflux head at the top. We also have a Carousel cooled version for cold reactions, which I'll show you later. So let's look at the features individually. So to start with, let me show you the Carousel Principle. Normally, if you set a reaction up on a hot plate in a flask, you'd set the flask in the centre of the hot plate to get optimal magnetic stirring. And then as you move out, you'll see the stirring becomes uneven and irregular. You can see the magnetic stirrer bar bouncing around there. But all the way around the outside of the hot plate, around the edge here, we get good, even stirring with a secondary magnetic field. So this means that all the positions of the carousel are going to stir at exactly the same speed and in the same way and be held at the same temperature. So let me just lift the carousel up and you'll be able to see that the tubes on here are held in exactly that position, and they're all stirring just from that one single hot plate. So you can control the temperature of the carousel either just with the hot plate temperature or by using a PT1000 probe pushed through the reflux head, and then it goes right down into the block at the bottom. The carousel can be heated up to 180 degrees, and the base is made from a solid anodised aluminium, so it transfers the heat very quickly and efficiently, so all the positions are at the same temperature. The tubes are also custom made, so they give a really good fit in the block, again for maximised heat transfer. The block and the reflux head are both coated in fluoropolymer for added chemical resistance and ease of cleaning. And the carousel base, in addition to that, has this PTFE heat insulating cover, which just helps the hot plate, uses less energy and means that it will protect things like cables or your arm as you lean around. The standard carousel tubes are for reactions between 5 and 20 millilitres in volume. And we also offer a reduced volume tube for reactions of around 1 milliliter. And for these you need a little removable insert. So you can see you drop the insert into the carousel, and the tube is tapered at the bottom and it just drops in. Again, use the insert just to improve the heat transfer. The reflux head at the top removes the need for traditional condensers. So by running cooling water through the block, and these are the connections at the back for the cooling water, it cools down the top section of this tube here and means it acts like a reflux condenser. So you don't need to set up a traditional condenser. The cooling water is connected via the quick connect at the back, which self-seals, so when you disconnect it you're not going to get any leaks or lose any water. You've got a central supply for the inert gas here, and this runs out to all 12 positions of the carousel via these metal pins. So when you attach the easy-on cap to the tube, and then the cap attaches to the carousel, the gas nozzle is automatically connected. You just push the cap down. So the reflux head and the inert gas supply would normally be connected to a Schlenk line at the back of the fume cupboard. You can use it to purge your reactions by doing a few cycles of vacuum or inert gas. You can also isolate any of the tubes by closing the tap on top of the cap, and you can make syringe additions or take samples via the septum on the cap. So when I insert a tube into the carousel like this, I've automatically set up the heating and the stirring in the good position that we saw before. You've also effectively connected a reflux condenser and the connection to inert gas. So it's a super quick way of setting up a reaction, and something that would take significantly longer using traditional glassware. So just by dropping the tube in, I've got heating and stirring, a reflux condenser and a connection to inert gas. You can imagine how long that would take with a flask and a traditional condenser and then all the tubing. So it's a very speedy way of setting a reaction up. In fact, a lot of people just use this for 1 or 2 positions. They don't set up all 12. They just think it's a convenient way of setting a small scale reaction up. If you are going to use it for just 1 or 2 reactions, what you do, the positions that you're not using, you just remove a septum from the cap, turn it upside down and use it to blank off the inert gas port, so you're not losing all your inert gas through the empty position. So if you wanted to cool your reactions at the end of an experiment to let them cool down, you can just lift off the reflux head and put it onto the stand. It's also quite useful for setting up reactions at the beginning. It's nice to be able to see what's going on in the tube, so I can check I've got all my stirrers in, check everything's loaded up correctly. If, however, you actually wanted to do a cold reaction, you'd use the Carousel 12 cooling reservoir. So this sits on top of the hot plate, and you can load this up with dry ice and acetone, so temperatures down to -78, but of course you can use other solvent mixtures for different temperatures. And this will hold the tubes in that nice magnetic stirring position, so you'll have stirring, cooling from your ice bath, and still the inert gas connection at the top. So whilst the heating is nice and easy to set up, you can imagine how difficult it is to set up multiple reactions in a dewar or something. It's really tricky. It also comes with this lid, so this will just help keep things cold for a lot longer. So yeah, the material is HDPE, which is a really robust plastic, and it's insulated, so it's not going to form any condensation on the sides or drip down onto your hot plate. So that's it, the Carousel 12 Plus. A reaction station with 12 positions for volumes of 1 ml up to 20 ml, all under reflux and inert gas, with either the cooling reservoir for temperatures down to -78 or the heated base for up to 180. If you'd like to know more, please go to radleys.com, where you can download more information on the product, or get in touch with us for a demo or to talk. Thanks.